This is seriously akin to going into a huge empty bathroom and standing next to the only other dude at a urinal. Even though there's like 40 empty urinals, it's like sidling up right next to him. This is the camping version of that. In this episode, I see the inevitable deer, go to a naked mountain, and get angry. I was pissed. I was like sitting there steaming. Good morning from the campground. I have taken a shower and done my morning business. Sometimes these showers can act stupid. This one can overheat. I don't know, so that's why you get this situation. I guess that's the temperature? I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyways, you have to then wait for 3 minutes for it to cool down, and the entire time this is happening, and I'm sure all your dogs are just loving this noise. Alright, ignore me. It's easier. Had the door open, shower on, start with the door open. Give me a break, I just woke up. I have started some laundry. I have unsheathed Scooty, and it's time for some breakfast. So I've got myself a fruit drink, a banana, and some bean bread. I don't really know what I'm going to do today, though. I haven't quite decided. I know I'm going to leave this campsite, and I'm going to head, I believe, south towards Kushiro, and there's another national park that's down there. I'm hoping I'll be able to find a campsite that I can stay inside of that area that has got a shower so I can be happy. And on the way, I think we might go northern-ish to check out a couple of things on the way to the south part. The weather is pretty good today. It feels like it's going to be hot, but we might have rain tonight. But I have a basically full day of able to explore, hopefully, without being wet. Aside from sweat, which is already happening, because when it gets hot here, man, let me tell you what, it gets pretty warm. It's breakfast time. All right, Scooty Puff is all scootied up. We're ready to scoot. I think I'm gonna start using the word Scooty like Smurf. You know what I mean? Verb it with everything. Like it's real Scooty up in here. I can be more than the verb. Look at that. Anyways, so Scooty's all ready to go, and I'm going to head up to Fart Mountain first, which is a little out of the way of going south, but it should be worth seeing, I think. And other things that are going on today is September 1st. It's a new month. And that means that the new Jeff Rosenstock album is out, so I'm wearing my Jeff Rosenstock shirt. Everybody should check out Jeff Rosenstock. His shit, damn good. Always been a fan since back in the days. And then also, I did laundry. Only the dryers, man, the dryers are balls. I ran it for an hour, and my pants are still wet, y'all. I still got wet panties, so I'm wearing the wet pants. Even though I've got dry pants, but I'm gonna wear them to like dry them out on the scooter, right? So I'm just like walking around in soggy drawers. But anyways, let's scoot. Man, I'm driving up this road, and this is the road that I walked down when I got lost after a typhoon. And this is the most boring drive I think I've been on this entire trip. I cannot believe I walked this entire distance. Good news is, once you pop out of that area, you get to see a mountain that is naked and spewing out farty smells, and it looks badass, and it smells fun. it's not a good smell, but it's a fun smell. We're gonna stop in there and have another look. When you roll into Naked Fart Mountain, they wave you over on your motorcycle. Just put you in the motorcycle parking area, because they know it's hard for you to get change out to pay. You have to pay 200 yen to park, and it's just like a hassle with your gloves and everything. So they just do that, and then the lady just comes over to you, and then you can take your gloves off and stand and, you know, whatever, pay her. It makes it easier. And she comes up to me. It's like this little Japanese lady that literally is like at my navel, her height. She's really small, and she just comes up to me, and she just like looks up like, and she's an older lady. She looks up and she's like, just like, you're huge. I was like, yeah, I'm like 2 meters tall. I'm really tall. She asked me where I'm from. And then she's like, yeah, it's 200 yen. I give her the 200 yen. And she's just so like, she's funny, man. She's like kind of brash, but like in a good way. And she's just like bullshitting with me. And like, just this really funny, like, no distance between us like type of way. Like it's just there's no like politeness being used or anything, but she's like warm and like nice. You can tell it's just how she is. She's just a brash old lady that is about this tall. Like I'd mentioned before, I had been here before, and I was thinking about this. I don't know how I got into this area, but I know I hitchhiked with some people, but I don't remember if they were like, hey, I'm going to the place, or like I was like, can we go to the place? Or they were like, we just happen to be going to the place, like we're gonna go there together now. I don't know if they told me about it. I don't know if I had a goal. I don't remember anything about that, because at the time I was hitchhiking. And like I said before, when I was here, there was like a dude with like a professional camera and a girl like taking her clothes off and taking pictures, like trying to be discreet about it, but like I clearly could see this going on. At the time I was just like, who comes to a sulfur mountain where the smell is dank and takes nudes? But I found out yesterday this mountain in the Ainu language is known as Naked Mountain. And I'm assuming that they mean naked in the sense of there's no trees on it, and then I'm assuming that in the winter the heat that's coming out of this keeps this from being covered in snow. So it's naked in that sense, not naked in the sense of trying to sell pictures on OnlyFans. But regardless, this is really a very cool thing. They're all over the place in parts of Japan where there's onsen towns and thermal activity and stuff. And this one is specifically accessible, where you get to like walk right up to the vents that are just blowing steam out. When you get up near them, it's hot. I mean, obviously it's boiling water, and the temperature is significantly hotter just up there than it is to where I am here, where I'm getting a reasonable breeze. There's also water literally boiling up out of the ground, and I've seen multiple people come up to it and like with their partners or buddies or whatever, they're like, you think it's hot? And then they stick their hand in the boiling water. Like, do you think the boiling water is hot? Man, people are wild. Tourists, crazy, man. I mean, I'm a tourist. I probably do dumb shit too. But this is cool. It's a great view. It's a cool place where you can set up your camera and get some time lapses. You can get some cool National Geographic looking shots. I don't have anything else to say about it other than it's just a fun place to check out. If you're ever near one of these things and you've never seen it before, check it out. And from now, I think I'm going to go to Mashuko, because the lady that sold me the parking ticket for this place said that it's good to park there too. So I'm gonna try to figure out where that is. And then that's the only reason I'm going there, is because I paid 200 yen to park here and I can park the other place for free now. So that's the whole goal. Let's roll. Oh wait, no. Let's scoot. Man, this place is super scooty. Man, I made perfect timing getting out here as a bus arrives. I don't want to share Fart Mountain with too many people. By the way, when you're up in that and you're shooting time lapses and the steam is going in your nose, it's kind of hard to breathe. Like it's a gnarly, like, like this sulfury water, man. Brutal when it gets inside of you. Looks like I've got about a 20-minute drive to the next parking area that this ticket is good for. And it looks like it's going to be a fun one, bit of squiggles. And beautiful outside right now. All right, so I made it like all of like a minute, and there's a situation taking place here. The situation is ponies. There appear to be a pack of ponies. Holy shit, one is loose. There's a pony on my side of the fence, guys. It's so easy to get distracted by ponies. I think I'm going to stay on my way. Keep moving. Oh God, look at it. Oh my God. It's so little. All I'm saying is, like, I've got some room back here. Like, for real, like, that pony'd fit. I'm headed up the mountain now, and the road with the squiggles is quite fun. Lots of back and forth, lots of nice clean roads. But then I got to the top-ish area, and bam, it's real cloudy. So, driving through clouds for a bit, but then it cleared up. And hopefully we'll get a view of the lake, because this side of the mountain looks a lot cleaner and less cloudy than the side that I was just on. By the way, the Jeff Rosenstock record is good. I'm enjoying it. I'm on my first listen. It takes me a few listens to actually understand if I'm going to love an album or not. It doesn't seem like a big jump forward for him or anything, but it seems like a good set of tunes. Well, I'm almost there, and I've re-entered the cloud. So I think there was a brief area where the skies were clear and we were above the cloud line. But I'm going to bet this view is going to just be pea soup. Yeah, this didn't work out too well. In a cloud. I suspect this view is just going to be of a cloud. And I mean, clouds are cool looking, but not when you're inside of them. It's really a shame because they've got these dope seats you can sit at and look at the cloud, but probably usually the lake. But look at this. Got a straight lean on, man. This is good. I want this in my house. I just stuck my finger in my eye, like to itch it. And I guess there's sulfur all over my finger from the mountain. And I'm in pain. Like, it's bad. It's like I just put a bunch of salt in my eye. Shit. Eyeball stuffs. Alright, I think we got everything we're going to get out of this. So we're going to head down to the town for lunch. It's about noon. And I just talked to the staff that works at the Taking Your Money booth. And I was like, yo, this area is kind of famous for ramen. Teshikaga is this town that I'm near. And they have a bit of a thing where they make, I guess, kind of like a lightly flavored ramen. Like, it's not a heavy ramen. And it's famous. It's famous enough to be known, like, outside of the area. So I was like, where should I go? And he told me to go to this place called, I think it's called, what did he say, Ibuki? I don't know, I put it in my Google Maps. Anyways, we'll figure out when we get there. And he said that they might be closing soon. Wow, that was really loud. And he said that they might be closing soon, but I'm going to see if I can get there early enough that it'll be alright. Of course, it's noon, and he's like, they might be closing soon. What the hell, Japan? Alright, so this place really, doesn't look open at all on the outside, but it's opened. And there's a little old lady here, and she's super sweet. She made me a bowl of ramen. It feels like that it is probably going to be a ramen that is based on a pork bone type of thing. It's very oily. I'm surprised by that because I expected this to be like a light flavor. Noodles are crinkly looking. That's a good news. That's a good sign. I like crinkly noodles. The firmness is like spot on. It's good. Let's get in some of this broth because it is clear at the top, and then as you push down, it becomes oily and thick. Whoa. Okay. It is heavier than I expected. I thought that the flavors here were going to be lighter flavored. That was my understanding from the style of ramen from this area, but maybe I'm wrong. It's thick. But like, how do I say this? The flavor is thick, but the soup broth itself is not thick at all. It's very watery. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like fat, maybe, that's giving it what it's got. Let's get a piece of meat here. Really good. It's like really good. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe a piece of bread? Alright. Hi, wakarimashita. Sumimasen. So I wasn't supposed to bite into that right away. You push it down into the soup, and then you wait. And then it soaks up a bunch of broth, and then you eat it. Alright, we've now soaked in this guy here. I don't know what that is, but... Whoa. It's good. It's like really absorbed a lot of the flavor. The deal is that she explained that to me when I got the ramen, but her pronunciation is kind of difficult to understand, and I was just like, I don't really understand what she's like. So then she watched me bite into it and was like, no, 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 no. And then I could understand. She was like, no, push it down. I was like, oh. Bit embarrassing. Yo, that was really, really good. It was a little awkward in there though. You might be able to tell I was whispering. It was really quiet inside. And then she was staring at me the entire time, probably because she knew I was gonna fuck up eating that thing. It's like a rice cake or something. It kind of looked like bread before you buried it into the into the broth. But once it went in, dude, it was like a treat when that thing came out, and it was soaking in, I'm assuming pork bone. But I was shy with the lady because she spoke to me and stuff when I came in, and like the normal stuff was fine, but she explained, I guess, to push that thing into the thing. I couldn't understand anything she said. She just kind of like has a low mumbly kind of pronunciation that I'm just not tuned into. But anyway, she made it clear when I fucked up, and she was like pointing at me like, push it down, dumbass. But anyway, the food was amazing. Very, very good. I need something sweet though. Like I need a guarana or something now, because that was a lot of very oily and very salty flavors. And after I do something like that, man, I just gotta have a candy, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get a Snickers up in your life. Ibuki. Never seen a vending machine for diapers and baby products before. Also, like, what's the deal with the name of this? Goon? This kid's a goon? Or is it like goo? What's happening here? I literally do not think I've ever seen a fifth wheel, I think these are called, in Japan, especially one for camping. And especially with a dually American truck with 4 doors. Seriously, I don't think I've ever seen this in Japan. It must have been a fortune to import. And probably a nightmare to drive on a lot of Japanese streets. You'd be alright in Hokkaido, but man, anywhere else it'd be horrible. Wouldn't fit anywhere. I got my guarana, and I have a hard time turning down an ashiyu when I come across them. I actually knew this one was here. I remembered it from my previous trip. I come over here and warm up my feet in this already warm weather. And it looks like I found a campsite that is in the national park area that I want to go to, that's about an hour south of here. So I think I'm set. I'm probably just going to kind of make my way that direction. I'm looking on Google to see if there's anything interesting to stop at on the way, because I got quite a bit of time before the sun goes down at this point. But if not, and I just make my way down to the campsite and then call it a quick, easy day, which I never do, then that'd be fine too. One of the things I like about Ashiyu is, aside from just getting to chill and put your feet in some warm water, it feels nice. It kind of slows you down, like, forcefully, because I don't carry a towel with me. Other people do, but I gotta sit here and wait for my feet to dry off, and just give me an opportunity to just be in the environment a little bit. There's this flower bed in front of me, and there are bees and butterflies and stuff like buzzing around doing their business, and watching that go on is pleasant. It's really nice while I wait for my feet to dry. So the feet will be dry here in a couple minutes, and I'll be moving. And I gave it a look on Google Maps between watching bees and butterflies, see if there's anything between here and there. I don't see anything between here and there, so probably just gonna beeline it, butterfly line it for the campsite. That ain't right, y'all. Rolling through some of these little Hokkaido towns, and I just got curious. What's this train station look like? That's it in front of us. That's the station. I wonder how often a train comes. Ooh, it's not paved. Well, here's the train schedule. There are a handful of trains each day. So this is the hour and this is the minute. So each one of these is going to correlate to one train. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 trains. That's not a completely dead train line. This is the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stations. I believe this might have been the train that we saw go by when I stopped and looked at the horses when I was going into Shari. So it would have been between Shiretoko Shari and Abashiri, I believe, where we would have seen that little one-man train go by. Maybe this is the same line. You don't really see these signs in Tokyo. Like, no crossbows allowed. There's like legitimately like people do hunting and stuff up here, so that could be a thing that they might have, is crossbows. But you can actually, people think you can't get guns in Japan, but that's not true. You can actually get guns. This is really hard, really tightly regulated. And I think it's really expensive as well to go through like all the paperwork and everything. But essentially it's for people who want to do hunting and stuff. But you'll definitely, it's possible. You can do the thing, but it's like very regulated. I thought that car was a train. That's no train. I don't think there's a train line there. Why is it going so slow? What's got written on it? What the hell is going on with this car? I'm getting smarter. I checked to see how far away is this campground for some place where I can buy food. And the answer is this far away, right when I was checking. So rolled up in here and loaded up on some sustainables, some grub, so that I've got some food to eat tonight and maybe tomorrow morning, because it might be raining tomorrow, but it always says it's gonna rain, but it never does rain. But check out this place. It's an ice cream place behind me here. It is called Vani St. Cones. What is that name? Vani St. Cones, or is it Vani Street Cones? I don't know. Regardless, it's fun. I have gotten almost to the campsite. This road that comes down though, man, there's like a zillion bumps on it. Killing me, man. Looks like the campsite is empty, which is a good sign, because I'm a little worried that I'll get here and they'll be like, no camping. But something's giving me the feeling that I might be in off-season now. Oh, it looks decent. Just gotta go in and ask, do you have showers? And this sits on a lake, which is pretty cool too. See the coin laundry. Where's the coin shower? It's like the Predator, with like a visor. Gotta get up here and like start looking for things. I'm sure for the past couple days people have been like, 1,500 yen? Why are you complaining about 1,500 yen? That's not expensive for a campsite with showers and stuff. But let me tell you what the baseline is. It's a place like this, where it's 740 yen a night. And there are showers that are half the price. There still are like nice toilets and stuff. No washlet, but I'll live. But this place also has a lodge, and they have a little restaurant. Apparently they have ramen, and they have hot water boilers the other place did not have. They have ways to heat things up. The other place did not have that. And they also have a view of the lake right here. And I'm gonna be camping literally like right here in this grass, like right by the lake. It's half the price, and it's probably going to be better, to be honest. I mean, the location isn't quite inside of that same like area where, well, this is still inside of a national park, and I haven't explored it yet, so I can't judge it. But it's just, the other place was overpriced. That's all I'm saying. And this place seems like it's going to be dope. Like 740 yen for this type of experience, I think is going to be pretty good. And on top of all that, I've got a Scooty Bro. It's a different brand, but it's a Scooty. It counts. Nobody else is here except the Scooty Bro. This is looking up for me, man. I have spectacular news about this campsite. So I'm just setting up my tent here at the lake. One of these characters has shown up. Alright, so I got the tent all set up and everything, and I'm in it, I'm showered, and it's an early day, and it is hecking windy. I'm a little concerned if this keeps up all night. It could be difficult to sleep. I mean, the tent isn't going to go anywhere, but like, you see what I'm saying? Like, things are like flipping and flapping around and stuff, and I've tied it down as tight as I can. I mean, the tent is ready to be all right. I'm not like worried about my safety. I'm just worried about like being able to sleep. But I'm kind of, I don't know, I sleep like a rock, so probably be all right. My plan when camping is typically to stay more than one night, and the logic being that, to be honest, this applies to staying anywhere, like whenever I'm traveling. I don't like to just stay in one place for one night, basically. Because like by the time you like, even if at a hotel, you like check into the hotel and move all your stuff in and blah, 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 blah. Then you get up in the morning and take everything out and then go through the whole thing process. You're just losing all the time you have to explore the area. Unless you're genuinely just jumping through an area in order to get someplace else. I just don't find it to be like the wisest use of time. It's better to just slow down a little bit, stay in a place and get a chance to explore it, wake up in the morning and not have to pack all your gear up, come back in the evening, not have to bring all your gear in, that kind of thing. And the tent sort of exaggerates this problem a little bit because, like, I mean, the tent is easy to put up and down, but it takes a while. Like, there's time that goes into it, packing it all up nicely and then making sure that you got your sleeping bag taken down and take everything out of the tent, put it in Scooty. Packing up Scooty takes time because it's not just like chunk it into the trunk. You gotta like put things in a specific way. A timer is happening somewhere. Must be 6, I think. It's 6 o'clock music, y'all. So anyway, my plan is to stay here for at least 2 nights. I've only paid for 1 night at this point, just in case it sucks and I want to leave. But some people came and put some stuff inside of this tarp, and then there's all these cones that are here, and they were talking about some sort of event that's happening tomorrow. That's not what you want to hear when you're camping. Like, we're gonna have an event next to where you're sleeping. That's problematic, so I may have to look into that a little bit. Hopefully it's not a thing, because I'd like to stay here at least a couple of nights. I mean, it's really nice so far, so the wind is the only issue, but it kind of feels good, to be honest. We are supposed to get some rain. That never seems to actually materialize, but if it does, that could be a bit of a bummer, but I don't think it's going to turn into a disaster like the way that the ground is and stuff. So anyways, let's just hope that this event isn't like some sort of all-night matsuri that like... If it happens during the day, whatever, but I don't want something that's like happening like after that bell that I just heard goes off. All right, let's talk a little about how I feel. I don't feel good right now. Like, I feel my head is gonna explode. I never get headaches. It's very rare, a couple times a year, but it's bad today. Like, it's really bad, and all my teeth hurt, and it's just a bummer. I don't know if you can hear that noise, but this is a huge field where you could camp in like different areas, and some people have just decided to set their tent up like 5 meters away from me. They've got a little kid. It's fine to have a little kid, but there's a huge amount of space. How about you set your tent up 50 meters away where there's plenty of room? Why have they decided to set up their tent and like go bang, 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 bang and nail in their thing? Oh God, you can push it in with your foot. I'm just grumpy because my head hurt. Oh God, it's in my brain. Okay, it's also dinner time, and I just hit a convenience store, supermarket on the way down, and grabbed some sushi and some chips and something I don't eat often, an apple. I'm looking forward to this. And then in the morning I've got some bananas and some melon pan and stuff, but that's for another video. Oh my God. But anyway, I think I'm gonna eat this food, and then I was gonna just go to sleep, but I don't think that's gonna be in the cards now. This is seriously akin to going into a huge empty bathroom and standing next to the only other dude at a urinal. Even though there's like 40 empty urinals, it's like saddling up right next to him. This is the camping version of that. Alright, I have found a flaw of this place. They've just turned on a light like right outside the tent. It's really bright, and I can kind of block it out, but I'm also way out in the wilderness, and it would be kind of nice to just look at the stars. They do this in Japan a lot though. Where it's like, here's a light. Just let it be dark. It's a campsite. Alright, so I went to bed at like 8:30. It's like 6 now, I think, 6 in the morning. it's been raining since, I don't know, at some point when I was sleeping last night, but it's been raining a lot, and at some point it was raining heavy. It was like a lot of rain was coming down, but the tent's great. I'm dry. Everything is good. Issue being I have to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom is not inside the tent. So I have to somehow get myself to a bathroom. I mean, I'm just going to get wet. I've got a little umbrella. I got an umbrella. I went and got that out of Scooty last night, so I'm set in that sense. And it looks like we're supposed to have rain until 10 or 11 in the morning, and then after that it's supposed to stop. So I'm just going to have a morning where I sit in the tent, I suppose. The only thing that's a little bit worrying is that I don't have very much battery left on anything. All of my batteries are dead, except for about 40% on my phone, and the battery on the camera is fine. So the reason that those are okay is because I used my big battery to charge those two important things last night. So anyways, at some point I've got to charge these things. I don't know how or where I'm going to do that, but that's like a high importance thing if I want to be able to keep making videos. And also if it rains and I'm stuck in the tent, I don't have any books or anything. I don't have anything to do. Like just sitting here like, eh. So I got to have juice. Yeah, and I've got some breakfast over here, so I'll eat some breakfast. That's no big deal. But my head doesn't seem like it hurts anymore, which is good news because yesterday sucked, man. My head was killing me when I went to sleep. That's why I went to bed early, just to like make it stop. Oh, and the neighbors who set up close to me, they were noisy when they set up, and I don't know, by the time I fell asleep I didn't hear them anymore, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. But it still is kind of like sidling up next to somebody at a urinal. Come on, give me some room here, man. Seems like the rain is gonna end soon, and I came out to brush my teeth and we got this situation. Just normal stuff. It's about 9 a.m. now, and it's raining Inus and Nekos out there like crazy, man. So I'm just chilling and getting some charging going on up in this log cabin thing they've got that we can hang out in, which is amazing. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay another night. And this time it is cheaper. It's 640 yen. So you only have to pay this 100 yen entrance fee one time. So, I mean, this place is really nice for the price. It has everything you could need. I mean, I could stay here, like, I don't know how long I'll be here, but it'll depend on the weather as usual. But if it was just gonna be really rainy for like days, I could see myself just staying here the entire time because I can come into this thing, charge up, stay nice and dry, stretch out, have a workplace. I can sit here and edit video and stuff. And there's a washlet. And just go back to the tent at night and sleep, and it's fine. Like this is the dream. The only thing I'm worried about is how far away am I from like a supermarket or a convenience store if I wanted to eat something that didn't come out of their little shop. But I haven't investigated their shop yet. Maybe they have a good shop. So the event that I suspected was going to happen because of the stuff that was set up next to my tent, it's apparently an elementary school field trip. Because a bus showed up and like 80 kids filed off of it, and there's like 20 adults, and they seem to not have a agenda for a rain day. So it was just chaos inside of the adults. Like, if you've ever like been extensively in Japan, you'll understand this. They just don't have a plan, so everything just, they're moving chairs around. Everybody stand up, everybody sit down, everybody go over here, sit down, do this, do this. There's no idea on what's happening. And like the adults act kind of nuts because they want to look like they're trying hard to make things go instead of just like chilling. Like this is just, there's a cultural quirk in Japan about that. So that was just going on all around me. I'm like in the middle of it, just sitting there trying to charge my shit up and do some video editing. And then all the kids like are from this area, right? So they're not like used to giant white guys. So they're all like staring, and it's really uncomfortable, like bumping into me and stuff. And they clearly want me to leave, but nobody will say anything to me because like that would be like so not okay. But they clearly don't want me there because they want my table. But it's pouring rain outside. So anyways, I endured it for like 45 minutes and the rain has finally stopped-ish. So I'm good now. But I'm a little worried that these kids are all going to end up camping next to me. I do not want to deal with the noise and just the situation of like 80 little kids. You know what I mean? So let's just hope that it's only a day trip. Okay, I asked a staff member, one of the adults, he's like, so are you guys staying here tonight? And he's like, no. It's like, they're just gonna do some like events or like games and stuff in this area. So this is my tent, and those cones indicate their area. I was like, how late are you gonna be here? And he was like, about 6 o'clock. So I'm not worried about the evening, but I mean, my tent's fine. They're Japanese kids. They're not gonna like mess with my tent or anything, but there was a lot. It's heavy, man. It's intense, man. So like, I think I've decided like, if I had to fight like a bunch of elementary age students, I couldn't take 80 of them. They'd just stare at me and I'd just flee. Guess I'd rather fight one 80-foot tall elementary student. Let's talk about where we're staying and why this is a national park. Apparently it is a wetland, and it is apparently the biggest wetland in all of Japan. And I've been looking on Google Maps to see if there's things to check out, and there are a few, and I think the weather is going to be okay enough for me to go and do that here in a few minutes, but it's already like half the day is gone. It's almost 11. And wetlands aren't really a place to like go and do stuff because they're wet. And like, true to its name, this one is super soggy today. And there are a lot of lakes and apparently connecting rivers that go in between all of the things, or at least navigatable waterways that make this place historically important because it used to be navigated by canoe. And there are a couple of things apparently we can see that show part of that old canoe infrastructure. But just even here, you can like take a canoe out and go out on the, I don't know if I'd call this a lake. It's a lake, but it's green on top. So it's definitely canoeable, but it has more of a moat-ish, pondish vibe. I guess wetland is the proper word to use. But regardless, let's take the scoot out and hope we don't get super wet in the wetlands today. Yeah, that's how you tie that up. I've just left the campground and I've come across these dinosaurs. What is this? Is this thing wild? It's not in a cage. It just seems like it's out and about. Can it fly? It's huge. It looks gigantic. All right, I Googled it. It's called a toncho zuru. And that is apparently a red-headed crane. I guess it's like native to this area and it's a wild bird. Dude, I thought it was like an ostrich. Like it's that big. The thing is massive. Can they fly? I want to see it fly. I mean, it would be like seeing the spruce goose or something, man. It's some ridiculously large creature just busting through the sky. I can't believe what I'm seeing. They're just massive. Can ostriches fly? It's about a 20-minute ride from the campsite to my first destination, and on and off we've had some spots where there hasn't been sealed road, but it's flat, so it's tolerable. However, it's wet, so it sort of sucks. But I don't have too much farther to go, and seeing as how we are in a wetland, I don't expect this to be going up a mountain anytime soon. So the flatness of that type of topography is probably going to help me out a bit. Got to dodge some puddles and hope I don't slide around too much in the muck. Scoot, scoot, Scooty Puff Jr. Ugh, that was terrifying. On the horizon, I can see kind of what I'm expecting to see, kind of over here to the right, out there between the trees. It is a structure that's apparently quite old, and it could be kind of neat to see because quite old up in Hokkaido means like 100 years. It's obvious that the best way to explore this area would be on the waterways, but Scooty ain't got no pontoons, so we're limited a bit on what we're going to be able to do here. But there's a bunch of tour groups around that do canoe trips and things. In fact, this van back here is from one of them. Some dudes came and parked it and left with another van covered with canoes and all sorts of stuff on it. So that's like an industry that's going on, but it would be a cool way to get around. And I wish I could figure out a little more information about who lived here. What did Ainu live around here, and was it canoeing like a thing, or is this a more modern system of getting around? But apparently, to a certain degree, these waterways are important to Kushiro, which is the city that is south here. And they have done things such as building infrastructure to keep the waterways managed in a way that, of course, humans would like to do. And one of the things that they have is this gate system. It's a water gate There's really no information about what this is anywhere. There's a couple of signs, and it talks about like the national park. It mentions in there that those birds that I saw earlier, those are like rare. Like apparently it's a rare thing only from this area or something. It wasn't so explicit on exactly the whole history of the bird, but it said they're famous for this area. The only thing that I can pull out about this gate is that it was built in 1931 because it says in Japanese the year that the thing was built. So I had to use Google to translate the years because it's complicated about when an emperor was born. It's like really hard to figure things out when you look at old things. Like, okay, Shotoku nen Hachigatsu, Google, 1931, all right. And it's kind of amazing that the thing is still standing because this environment's harsh. Of course, you've got the winters, but just like the amount of wetness that's happening here and the humidity, and this structure is, of course, the bottom half is built of concrete, but the top is built of wood, and it's still here. I wonder if at some point it was changed and renovated, but it looks like it possibly could be nearly 100 years old just looking at it. There's another gate that's off in the distance, and I'm not sure if it is a replacement for this one because there's no signage anywhere, but it looks much more modern. And I don't know if that one still functions or not. I'm going to assume that this one no longer functions because it basically looks like it's rusted shut. Worse than rusted shut, I was doing a little more B-roll after I finished talking a second ago, and I realized you can see right through that gate. It is rusted through. It's no longer a gate, it's just a thing. I'm going to slide my way into Kushiro, which is a fairly substantial city. It's big enough that it has a couple of electronic stores, which I don't think are going to have the armband I need to get my arm camera back on, but they might, so I'm going to give them a look. The city is big-ish for this part of Hokkaido. However, it's not big enough to have a Bic camera or a Yodobashi camera, which is where I could go to buy one of those armbands for certain. So I'm going to hit up all they've got, Yamada Denki. As I had suspected, they did not have the thing that I needed. It's a very specific shaped arm mount that fits in a very specific point on my arm and holds a very specific camera. I just didn't expect them to have it at Yamada. Yamada's more of like refrigerators and stuff and a little bit of camera things. So they had some stuff, I was surprised, but I think I'm boned. Like seriously, I don't know if I'll be able to find anything that would solve my problem getting the camera back on my arm until I get to Sapporo. Like I think that would be it, and I don't even know if I'm going to go to Sapporo, so it may just be something for the rest of the trip that we're having to rely on the GoPro mounted up here. I figured since I'm in the city, I'm just going to grab some lunch. I looked up a ramen place, it's over here someplace, and just going to go there and give it a go. Apparently they have homemade noodles. See if they're even going to be open. Don't hype it too much because it'll never be open. I don't really have much else to do today either, to be honest, because the wetlands area, as much as it's a cool looking place to be, there's not a whole lot to do without having access to the waterways. And I don't have access to the waterways, so I'm not sure how much I'm gonna do like exploring around. There's not like those like waterfalls and little ponds and stuff like going on that you can like go to check out the way that I was checking out in other national parks. It's not mountains to go up, like, you know, there's like a lot of like overlook platforms where you can overlook the wetland. Which I guess if you're looking for certain animals and birds and stuff, that could be cool, but I wouldn't even know where to begin looking for things. I already saw the big red-headed birds that apparently are the thing to see, so check that off the list. I do have to figure out exactly what the rest of the trip is going to look like at some point too, so maybe I can just focus on that a little bit. I'm kind of feeling like heading home. It's been 3.5 weeks or so, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna go home and by what route, and if I'm gonna check out anything else before I leave Hokkaido. I don't know which ferry I'm gonna take. There's a bunch of options, so there's a lot of logistics that I could be working out too. And I wonder if I've now walked past the ramen place. Not only have I not walked past the ramen place, I walked in exactly the wrong direction. Hey, I just saw one of these guys. Alright, I've eaten a humongous bowl of ramen, way too much. And the ramen was pretty good. I'm kind of getting used to this style of ramen. It was a shoyu base as well. But his noodles are really good. It seems like they're homemade. And they're kind of like a flat noodle, and their texture is really, really on point. The thing that happened in there, and there's the reason I didn't film, the dude working there is something of a ramen Nazi, like the soup Nazi from Seinfeld. Like, it's a weird vibe. You go in and there's a vending machine like normal and there's 7 seats, and you can't really see the dude when you go in, but he doesn't greet you at all. No, like, irashimase, like nothing. He doesn't say anything at all. And when I got there were a couple people sitting outside, so I just went in and got my ticket and came back out, and those people were waiting. I was right about my guess. And then 2 people came out, and those 2 people went in, and then another dude walked in right after them, and then as another guy was walking out and sat down in front of me. So I didn't get to sit down because the dude that works there isn't doing his job. He isn't like being like, okay, yeah, hello, yeah, the line is outside or whatever. Like, there's no signs or anything like that. So whatever, it's not a big deal. As soon as the next person left, I went in and sat down. It wasn't like crucial. So I sat down, and you have to get your own water. And he's got this water machine, and it can dispense water and ice, or ice. When I went up to get my water, I pushed a button. I didn't push any buttons at all on the machine. But when I went up to get my water, I like, you know, you put your cup under the thing and it like pushes a little lever, and it only dispensed ice. I was like, okay, like this is peculiar. And I looked at it for a minute. And I was like, all right. And I didn't look at the whole thing. I didn't read. There's a sign that says do not touch. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I just pushed it to the water button and then filled my cup up with water. And then I went and sat down. When I sat down, he yelled at me. And I didn't understand him at first because it came out of nowhere. I was like, whoa, what? And he was like basically telling me reset the thing to only ice. Okay. And I told him, I was like, wait, I didn't understand what? And he goes, ugh. And he walks around the counter, which took him like half a second, and reset it to ice, and then went back behind the counter and like gave me this really shitty look. Like he's pissed. Okay. So then time passes. I'm pissed off. Like I'm angry the way he's treated me. Like it's really shitty the way he is like behaved. It's not okay. And the fact that he's not doing the rest of his job, like greeting people when they come in, it's like, come on, man. If you're gonna expect this of your customers, etc. So then this dude next to me gets up and leaves, and as the guy's walking out the door, he's like, "Gochu sasama deshita," and like that means like thanks for the meal to the chef. And the chef yells at him, fucking yelled at him. He's like, "Come back here!" And the guy came in and stuck his head around the corner. He was like, "Nani?" Like the guy was not okay with the way that this dude was talking to him. And the dude told him that he needs to like put his plates and stuff up on the top of the counter. Like return your stuff to the counter. And then as soon as the guy put it up, the dude runs around the corner and scrubs everything down with a paper towel or a napkin or a towel. Towel is the word I'm looking for. So like the dude is like gonna clean up the area anyways, but he's like being an asshole to put things back up on the shelf. Like your customers have to do it, not me. I'm not gonna do that. And like what he needs is another staff member that's like taking care of the environment while he's cooking, but he doesn't, I guess, want that, or maybe that person's not here. Kind of get the impression this is business as usual. And then this girl comes in and she orders and blah, 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 gets her ticket, sits down, gives him the ticket. And again, he didn't greet her or anything, nothing. And then she wanted water. So she went up to get water and she put the thing up and it only dispensed ice. And she's like, looking around, and she sees the sign. I saw her read it. It says, "Do not touch this." And she's just like, and she looks over at the guy, and the guy is just not approachable. So she reaches up and touches the button and fills her water with water, and then sits back down, and he goes, "Ugh," and like runs around the corner and sets the thing back to ice. The fuck is going on with this guy? So anyways, the ramen was actually pretty good. I can see why there's a lot of people going in there, but I would never go in there again. That guy was unbearable to be in a room with. And just to be clear, this wasn't like some old dude that's just been doing this for so long he's done with this shit. He was young. He was like maybe in his 20s. Like maybe he was his early 30s. But yeah, it's unbelievable. It's possibly some of the rudest service I've ever had from a Japanese person ever. Ever. It was kind of interesting just to see. Like everybody else in the room was like, when he yelled at me, everybody was like, whoa. Like they could not believe that he would speak to a customer like that. Like that's not okay in Japan. Like if something's wrong, like you should go and solve it yourself. You don't bark at the customers. In front of a room of people too. Whew. I was pissed. I was like sitting there steaming. Wow, a fountain that's actually on and not dead. It's actually a pretty nice little park. A lot of these little parks have not aged well. Let's put it that way. And they almost never have the fountain running. kind of scooted randomly around the city and went across a bridge. It's apparently like the image, the special thing of Kushiro. And I got to look at it from the side, but I was just like, it's a bridge. I don't really understand. It has a nice little park and stuff around it, but I was looking for a place to park. And that's where I've had problems here, and in Hokkaido I had the same problem. And I saw similar issues in Sapporo, where they've built cities that are somewhat centered on car traffic, but it's difficult to find a place to park, and it's triple difficult to find a place to park a motorcycle. A lot of the parking areas are like for cars only, and you can't park a motorcycle there, or how it appears to me. I don't know, maybe I'm doing it wrong. So it's just difficult to like get off and look at stuff. So I just drove and I came up to a museum. I'm not going to go in the museum, but I noticed outside the museum they've got a rock garden. And the rock garden is actually kind of interesting because it is a bunch of rocks collected from different parts of Hokkaido, and specifically some of volcanic mountains and stuff. It's like this one is from this mountain, and this one is from this volcano, and this one is from the sulfur mountain that I went to a couple days ago, which was kind of neat to see. You can take a little rocky adventure of Hokkaido walking down this little path. From the rock garden I walked down a hill towards a river, kind of regretting it. It's a fine jogging path if you live in the area, but there's really not much to see. The river view is okay. You can almost see the ocean. There's a couple of statues here or there, stuff like that, but now I gotta walk back up a hill. Alright, I'm in Mr. Donuts, and this little old lady just ordered 8 donuts on her own. And now I have to sit here and wait to see, is she gonna crush this entire plate? Because none of them are in takeaway packages, and she's alone. I mentioned at some point on this trip how they always fold triangles into the tips of the toilet paper to show that it's just been replaced. I'm in a Mr. Donuts, and they have a little sign here that says that to prevent the spread of disease, they won't be folding the little triangle. They put a little sign up. In the end, she ate 2.5 donuts and jammed the rest of them in her purse. Rock on. Yeah, I give you a bag for that. She had me do a raw dog them right in too. Like it wasn't like wrapped up or nothing. She just raw dogged that shit's into her purse. So she's gonna have a bunch of frosting in her bag. Yo, look at this sunset. I just got back to the campsite. I have a feeling I might have missed quite a sunset with the lake and the reflection. I've just hit up the supermarket on the way back. It's kind of what stopped me from getting to see the sunset. However, my consolation prize is I got to eat something warm for dinner, which is the first time I think this has happened since I've been camping, because it's a microwave here and I could warm up a little plate of yakisoba. It was like $1 or something, and I got some sushi and then having a charging party. If I can get stuff charged, it opens up my opportunities for what I can do tomorrow. But if I do not get stuff charged, I have to stay in a hotel, otherwise I can't keep making videos because I don't have any more battery. So that's kind of where we're at. Hopefully we can get some things all juiced up and we can just keep rolling and not have to have any compromises. But other than that, going to bed after I eat, after some charging, and that's the day. Look like all those shots are trying to get these teeny tiny little dragonflies. They might be trash. I came in here to have a look at the toilet. Check out this character.